Thanks, Chris. September is Suicide Prevention Awareness Month, and joining us live in studio this morning is author Ryan Beal. And thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
It seems everyone is touched by suicide at some point in their life. I know my uncle committed suicide. He was a father of four, and your brother.
Yeah.
My sympathies to you. Tell me how he led to your book.
Well, first off, I want to say thank you to you and Channel 7 bringing attention to this conversation. It's not the most fun conversation, and a lot of people have been affected, and it's really become, unfortunately, somewhat of an epidemic in our country. So the book really was a period at the end of 2010 where it was a personal experiment where I was going through my divorce at the time and my brother's suicide, which happened 13 days apart. And really the top life stressors were hitting me at once. I kind of went under this premise that I needed to remove myself from wondering what the rest of the world was up to and started to connect with myself again. And so it led to this journal, and throughout this time you really don't see the kind of seeds that you plant until later. And it was 2.5 years later where I was laying in bed with my pregnant wife at the time, who I'd met during these 40 days, who had read what I'd written, and she had said, you know, you gotta let this out to the world. So that's really what led me to bring this book out and kind of open up and share a story of struggle and perseverance and hope.
So suicide caused, tell me a little bit about your brother.
So my brother's name was Steve Beal. Phenomenal personality and really outgoing, and he basically, unfortunately, he probably maybe his ego kept him from talking and seeking the help he needed, and he took his life on Christmas Eve 2009. And so it really, suicide affects, you know, everybody. It affects the family, it affects the generations. You gotta, you know, it becomes what they're trying to figure out, and they're seeing more, is it becomes, unfortunately, a learned behavior. And as well as there is genetic components to it, lower levels of serotonin have effects on it. And the thing is, we need to learn to start talking more and being more open, not just about suicide, about mental health, mental awareness, and realizing that it's about keeping a healthy balance. I mean, that's what life is about. You know, having a healthy balance, finding happiness, and helping each other, and realizing that we're each messengers for each other.
And we've had several studies come out that say that if you're on social media too much, it can lead to depression, it can make depression worse. And that's what your book, 40 Days Off Facebook, is about. Tell me, what happened when you got off Facebook? How did your life improve?
So right away, I didn't know exactly why I was doing it, but I do realize now more. I mean, it's interesting, since the book was written, studies have come out and have been published. I think U of M just did a study that talks about this as well. The thing is, we have on average 1,500 pieces of information that we're exposed to every time we log into Facebook. I'm an average user, let's say I'm double the average user. An average user logs in 14 times a day. That's 21,000 pieces of other people's life, of information that you're being exposed to. At what point do you get time to sit back and reflect with yourself? That's the premise. So social media has created a global show and tell that we're all keeping up with. It's great for networking, it's great for business, it's great for promoting that you have a new baby or you have a new job promotion, but we are losing that time and that opportunity to connect with ourselves, reflect, get back to our core, find coaches and talk to people at a meaningful level that can help us improve our lives.
So the end message, if you're struggling, maybe you just need to step back.
You know what? Step back, reflect. The other thing is, find a coach, find mentors. Every professional athlete, every successful businessman has a coach, has a mentor. Let's not be afraid and allow our egos to get in the way of finding those coaches so we can improve our lives and be better citizens and be better custodians of each other.
Thank you so much for joining us. And we do want to say that social media causes suicide would be to oversimplify it. That's not what we're saying. The causes are complex. Studies show that 90% of people who take their lives suffer from mental illness or drug addiction. If you are struggling, know there's help. You can always call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 1-800-273-TALK. Thanks again.
Thank you very much for allowing us to get this out.
Malcolm.
Thank you.